Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where last episode I didn't notice it because of our behind enemy lines shenanigans and the abandonment of the Moscow front by the enemy, but we appear to have made some progress on the Mexican front, and it looks like we're very likely to take Mexico City here. That's a very big deal, actually. That is a very big deal. If we can get Mexico to capitulate, that is huge for us. Absolutely huge. I want to full commit to this attack. So we're definitely going to do that. But we need to deal with the behind enemy lines issue still, right? So we got some of our troops out. But then there's these guys. And the question is, how can we go about getting them out? Well, I don't know that we necessarily can. But we'll try. So we're going to head on forward here. And the idea here is, okay, they're trying to move here. It's not necessarily great. Yeah, they managed to get there before we did because they move so much faster than we do. We move incredibly, incredibly slowly. So at this point, they've abandoned this direction. And we can try to head up over here like this. This unit is apparently unable to find a valid path to target. I don't know why, because their target should be right here. Okay, so we're going to head up that way, but the real question is... Oh my. I didn't notice this either. So this is a significant issue for sure. What happened here? That's an interesting question for sure. I don't know what happened here. But it's very awkward. Very awkward indeed. This is a problematic one. And apparently they're trying a naval invasion out over here, but it's not going so well. Okay, so that's absolutely understood. This I did not realize was occurring. Now that I do realize that it's occurring, it is a significant problem. Very significant. But for the time being, we'll just chill. Okay, so up over this direction, it looks like we've managed to take Mexico City. So that's great. Looks like we're pushing in on multiple fronts over here in Mexico. I'm hoping that they capitulate when we take Mexico City, but I kind of doubt that they will. We will see. We really need to get this situation under control over here. They did capitulate. Okay. That's a huge deal. Everybody get in here. We need to get this cleaned up, and that's huge. So, this front out over here, it's not great. That's for sure. I want to make sure that we have some land forts out over here to help us hold this area. I don't really care too much about the south, to be honest. But we can just do something kind of like that. Down this direction is less relevant. This is definitely a problem that all of these guys are here. And I'm wondering if we can maybe break out in some direction here. There is an opening that we could try to break out over here. But I don't know about that. This is a bad situation down here, for sure. 1000%. Now, we're currently trying to cut these guys off right over here and get this entire area over here encircled. That would be a great thing to do, to be sure. But for now, there's not a lot to be done there. This is not that dire of a situation. If they push down over here, that's reasonably fine. It's definitely not great. It's not ideal, but for the moment, I'm going to say it's okay. So, we're going to take Manzan here. Although that battle is going to last for another 9 days at the current rate. Let's have these tanks get in here. There we go. That'll clean this up much more quickly. Get in here right now. Any moment you want to. That would be great. Okay, so we're attacking down over here. There we go. That's underway. I don't know why this battle is going to last so very long. Now it's going to be 2 days. Okay. That's better, anyway. Okay, so let's get that dealt with. We really need to start cleaning up some of these fronts and consolidating them together, right? That's the biggest thing that we need to do. We know that this is not going tremendously well right now, but we've only got like 4 units up there. So I don't think they have all that many up there either. And this army is very likely going to be capable of eliminating them very quickly. So let's get everybody in here. Let's get them stack wiped. Let's just get this done as soon as possible. Because if we can get these guys up on the American/Canadian front, this is going to be a significant thing for us. We move very slowly, though. That's for sure. Okay. So 4 additional days here. Eventually, this will get done. They just had a unit stack wipe. Eventually, this will get finished. It's now estimating 5 days. There's another stack wipe. Excellent. Our forces are finally beginning to arrive over here. Like, we have a lot of units still on the way over here. So that's absolutely understood. Everybody just get in here. Commit to this. We need to get this taken. Less than a day. Okay, good. And that's this army group. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to get this army group set to frontlining up over here. And their goal is simply going to be to offensive line basically all the way through here. Kind of like that. And we'll just tell them, go ahead and execute that the moment they get there. There's not that many troops up here, so they're probably going to be capable of doing something. Anyway, I don't know what, but this situation over here is not good. That's for sure. Oh, these guys are trapped here. They're trying to retreat to here. We really need to attack here. And take this if we can. We're trying. Did these guys get stack wiped? I think they did. Yeah, they must have. Okay, so we've got issues out over on this front. That is for sure. No doubt about that. For the moment, I'm not that concerned about that front. Look at this. We've got these guys pocketed for right now. Get in here. Get them wiped out. That's going to be huge. So let's get that done. And now that the Mexican front is cleaned up and these guys are heading up here, I'm hoping that we can get the Communist States of America to capitulate. That's going to be a big deal if we can do that. That means that we would need to take Washington. But it's going to take these guys approximately 10 trillion years to get there, because that's how this seems to work. Wait, they're actually using the railroads. Never mind, they're moving pretty quickly. I like it. Okay, so that's relatively fine. This situation, not so fine. That's for sure. So, this is Army Group 1. Does Army Group 1 also have forces up here? No. Okay. So Army Group 1 is responsible for defense of this area, and Army Group 1 also needs additional forces. So looking at this, they need an army of tanks, and then they've got, well, we've got 9 tanks here right now. So let's go ahead and assign those over here. And then we need infantry units here. Our overflow theater doesn't have infantry units in it right now, but we do have some infantry that we can deploy. But I'm not sure that we want to just yet. I think I'll hold off on that for the moment. Now, our African theater is going to take significant losses up over here. I did not realize this breakthrough had occurred, and this breakthrough is significantly bad. So if we look at our units here, we can see they're redeploying, but they're redeploying in a very lackadaisical way. That's for sure. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we're going to grab this army group, which is Army Group 4, and we're going to start piecing this out. And we're going to see where we can send all of these. So I'm going to just move these up over here. We'll see if they can get there. And we're just kind of abandoning this area for the moment. So, let's see. The next... I want to grab the army group. I want to grab the army group. Okay, apparently we can't do that. So that's fine. This is 17 units here, and I'm going to grab 5 of them. So that's going to go right up over here. Okay, so we still need tanks here, and does this army group have additional tanks? Yes, it does. I'm not sure. These tanks are up over here. I really want them to get out up over this direction, but there's just not really a place for them to go. Unless we were to break out to a naval base here and then sail somewhere else. That's a potential option, but I'm not sure how well that'll actually work. We'll see. It's going to take them 10 trillion years to travel there, and they're probably going to stack wipe. The unit up over here, I'm assuming stack wiped. They're actually right here. You're supposed to have been heading up over here. They just didn't. Okay. So they're on their way there. Now, over on this front, our forces are actually beginning to arrive on this front. And it looks like they have some forces beginning to arrive on this front too. But we'll see what ends up happening with that. Now that we're beginning to arrive up here, that should, in theory, at least somewhat stabilize that front. So, these guys out over here. No, where are you going? You're supposed to be going here. Don't go here. I'm going to delete the orders that are here as of right now. So then, these tanks, I'm wondering if they can maybe travel down to here. Like this. And break out in this direction. We will see. Okay, so we've managed to push up to here-ish. But they're trying to block our escape here. Makes sense. Fair enough. We're not surprised that they would try to do this. This breakthrough over here is actually very, very bad. So we really need to reinforce this over here. This is part of Army Group 1. This is part of Army Group 1. This up here should not exist. We need to get these guys out. Get over here. And you as well. We need to stop this from happening. I want you to just take this position. It's undefended right now, and if we can take Tehran, that'll link this back up. That's the idea, anyway. As far as this up over here goes, this is very chaotic because there's so many fronts. It's very hard to keep an eye on everything. That's for sure. But like I said previously, if we lose this war, that's fine. I actually kind of want to lose the war in a weird sort of way. Because you know what that's going to do? That's going to reset us and put us back where we were early on, where we just buy everything again. Now, I'm not going to do that, to be clear. But I'm not going to do that, like, on camera as part of the series. But that would put us back in that position, and that's an interesting position to be in, for sure. Let's get all of these guys grouped up down over here. I'd love to link them up here, but I don't know that that's going to happen. Okay, so we've taken this position, and they're retreating from Tehran. This unit is, I think, moving into Tehran. We need to attack it here to try to pin it in place. Like this. While our troops slowly... Where are you going? No, get down here. Follow orders, please. Get over here. Okay. So that's what we want to do, and I would love it if we could move out over this direction. I just don't think we can punch through this right now. So these guys might be gone. We will see. As far as all of this up over here goes, these guys are supposed to be attacking over here and getting that cleaned up. Okay, let's check in on how things are going on this front. Okay, we are definitely making gains over here. There's no doubt about that. So that's very, very good. We will see how that ends up playing out long term, but that is a very good sign. Now, out over here, these guys, this is part of Army Group 1. They need to not be here. They need to retreat out of this port. Stop attacking. Stop attacking. Just retreat out. No, don't do that. Go via this port, or this naval base, rather, and make your way over to here. No, not like that. I don't want you to go overland. Okay. So they seem to be very, very convinced that they have to stay here. They belong to an army, but they have no orders assigned. They should be assigned here. What do you mean, reassigned to Army Group 1? They're part of Army Group 4? Interesting. Okay, so where do we want them to go, then? The rest of Army Group 4 is down over here, right? So we can do something like that. Now they should start trying to exit via sea. There we go. So, what do we got going on over here? Well, these guys have kind of not followed orders exactly. Get up over here. Not like this. Get up over here. No. Get up over here. Okay. There we go. Keep following orders, please. Get up here. And one of these is going the wrong direction. Get up here, everybody. I think these are retreating, though. That's okay. The longer it takes for that to be a problem is a good thing. Now, it looks like they are attempting a breakthrough down over this direction. This is not vulnerable at this time. But this might be. If we were to push in here and here, we'll see what happens with that. They're trying to reinforce up over here. That's understood. Okay, so we're still working on getting rid of these guys, and that's fine. Now, out over this direction, the question is, how is this going? And the answer is quite well. We've got an encirclement down over here, and we are starting to push in this area. So that seems okay for the time being. Okay, so we managed to rescue some of these units. These guys are still trying to make their way up over here. No, this is a terrible path. Why would you take this path? I have no idea which unit is actually doing this, is the problem. It's this one. No, don't do this. We can't issue other orders because it's retreating right now, awkwardly enough. So eventually we'll make our way up over this direction, and it would be great to see that actually happen. The other thing we could try to do is build a naval base here. I doubt we'll have enough time to do it, but we can try to evacuate that way. So up over this direction, I want to get these guys eliminated. There we go. So we'll just push in over this direction. And where are you guys going? You can stop that. Just
come on.
Let's pull back our defensive line to maybe Basra here, I'm thinking. So that would mean that we would change this front line to be here.
Hey, come on.
Yeah, so we just abandon a little bit of space here to get ourselves a more tenable defensive line here. Something along those lines. It'd be nice if our forces would actually show up over here, of course. What do you mean 9 divisions from Army 7?
Hey, come on.
Shouldn't all of these divisions be here? I feel like they should. Okay, so let's do that for now. We do need to work on more war support, of course. And let's see here. So we can do encouraging frugality or bolstering spirits. The real issue is enemy bombing, so bolstering spirits is what we'll go for. So that seems fine. We are continuing to push in North America. If we can just consolidate down this number of fronts, that's going to be absolutely huge. So it looks like we have potentially some logistics issues down over here. Hang on. Why don't you come on up over here and grab that? That'll help out our logistics for sure. It's undefended, so go ahead and do that. Okay, so we're pushing in towards Washington at this point. I don't know why this offensive exists, but we're pushing in towards Washington here, and that is going to be absolutely huge if we can get it. If we can get the communist states of America to capitulate, that's enormous. Looks like we're struggling a little bit up on this side, but this is mostly because we have forces still arriving there. And out over this way, things are going reasonably well for us. So that looks good for right now. Now, as far as this goes, we're just trying to stabilize particularly this line. And we really should have these taken over by now. But apparently we're not interested. So that's noted. We don't have forces down here yet, and I'm wondering, why is it taking... Or why do we not have forces here? Like, I really feel like we should have units here. They've been assigned to this order for like 1 trillion years. Why are they all up here? That's a question that I have at this moment, and I don't know the answer to that one. But we just need to get this surrounded here and get that dealt with. Now, as far as this goes, has this opened up? Actually... there is a potential vulnerability here. And it's right here. So I'm going to attack this with 2 units of tank and 5 units of infantry right here. In the meantime, we're going to attack here and here. We don't expect that attack to succeed. But we're going to attack here, and we're going to attack here. Looking to cut them off over this direction. And we're using this as a pinning attack to pin these guys in place. They have reinforcements coming in here. We're going to need to do a pinning attack here. And hopefully this battle will wrap up fairly soon. If we can get this encircled, that will be a pretty big deal. So that's definitely a vulnerable patch there. Looks like nobody grabbed this position right here. Let's just go ahead and do that real quick. So checking in over here. Oh yeah, we're making solid gains over here. And this is what I expected to see. They always had not nearly enough troops to defend this front. So if we can just make our way into Washington very, very quickly here, that is potentially huge. So we'll just continue to work on that. I'm wondering about... okay, so the southern flank, they've got relatively decent defenses on. This out over here, though, they kind of don't. But for now, we'll just continue to press forward on that line. As far as this goes, I mean... these guys are not in a great position, right? We'll see if we can move them back over this way. Because we do potentially have that naval base finishing up in just a couple of days. Surprisingly, they've allowed us to do that. Okay, so we'll see if we can push back over this direction. They're currently blocking us, and that's understood. We're waiting for an opportunity to move through here. Eventually it'll happen, right? Yes, it's going to happen in a moment here. They swapped positions there, but then they leave, and let's see about going through. We'll see if they let us. If we can get these guys saved, that's a pretty big deal. But we move so slowly. And Ma'an also is a victory point. We just finished up this naval base here. So that's pretty big. We now have supplies down over this direction, in theory. So let's do a pinning attack here to try to prevent these guys from getting there before we get there. Unfortunately, they move so much faster than we do. But we got there. Okay, now we need to head down over here. We have a source of supplies here, remember. So at this point, these guys are not actually in that much danger of being stack wiped. However, we need to make sure that these guys get here before these guys get here. And it looks like that is paced correctly there. Okay, so this is not great here. Our forces keep doing this. They keep leaving large undefended areas and then there's a breakthrough, and then they take a million years to get there. And I'm wondering why they're moving around so much. It's very odd. It feels like they shouldn't be allowing this to happen, right? But this is still a potential danger point for them. But look at this. There's so much space over here, and they're moving so much. It's very odd. I'm not sure why they're responding in this way. But this has caused us a lot of problems. We've got these guys here, and they're probably going to get stack wiped. That's understood. It's causing us continuing problems over here, too. You can see we're not moving into these areas to defend it, even though it's part of the front line. We don't have units moving here. All of these units are supposed to be here, and they're all supposed to be moving to here. Where are they? They're currently here. So that's these guys. Okay, so that's the issue then, at least on this front. That doesn't really explain what was happening up here. But on this front, it does explain it. The guys that are responsible for defending here are trapped behind enemy lines. It feels like the army group commander should be smarter than this and should just try to have all of the units, like, try to have the line be as unplugged or as plugged as possible, right? With the men he has at the location. But sure, understandable. So we need to see about getting these guys out of here if we can. The real question is, can we? These guys are mostly out. But this is a very significant problem for us because this army is just in the wrong place, right? We need to remove this army from here for now. And now they'll start actually orienting correctly. I don't know. That's very, very unintuitive, if you ask me. But sure. So at this point, we've got this breakthrough up over here. And I'm looking at this area, and I'm thinking, that's not vulnerable at this time. However, we can watch for a vulnerability here. And in the meantime, we can build ourselves... I don't think we can build a naval base here, can we? No, we can't. Okay, that's a problem too, actually. Because we should be able to. We should be able to build a naval base here and be able to transport from naval base to a naval base out over here. But we can't. But the interesting thing about all of this is that this game, and this war in particular, is highlighting, I would say, a problem with Hoi 4, but I don't actually think it's a problem. It's just an interesting quirk. And that is that unlike every other Paradox game, there's no upkeep for military forces. So when we knocked everybody back to being a single province, they kept their hundreds and hundreds of divisions, and there was no problem. So they essentially, despite losing almost all of their land, they retained the vast majority of their military power. It's just kind of fascinating. I'm not claiming that that's a problem, necessarily. Well, it kind of is for this style of playthrough, which, to be fair, is new. But it's just an interesting quirk of the way the systems work. Now, if we check down over here, we can see we're absolutely doing very well in North America at this time. So that's good. Now, these guys down over here, they are attacking on a very narrow front, and I'm going to remove that. I'm going to change their offensive line to be a much wider front, which is going to be all the way down to about here, or, oh, that did not go well. Okay, it's fine. To about here. So we'll get going on that. We'll start trying to push into that. We need to get the Americas wrapped up because we're running out of time out over here. Now, our allies will actually start defending some of this territory. But these guys up over here, I'm just watching for an opportunity to get them out. And the best way would be to take them over to Tehran, for sure. But we need an opportunity, right? So we're just slowly moving over. These guys are on their way over, and they are, as soon as they arrive, going to be moved over. Man, they move so slowly. Okay. Many of them are arriving, but by no means all. Okay. We do have a source of supplies here, so they're not probably going to get super stack wiped anytime soon, but for the moment, that is relatively fine. This front over here was... What's going on here? Why do we not see the armies in this army group anymore? What's going on? This is 53 divisions, apparently. Everybody except people up here should be in this. Get rid of this front line. And we need to get these divisions out, right? But they move so slowly. We can try to push up over this direction, but I don't think that's going to happen. We do have a small source of supplies here, so we can kind of wait this out, but it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to see about maybe getting this under control. I'm wondering if a reboot will fix this. This might just be a visual issue. Something is weird here, but we'll see if maybe restarting the game fixes that. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and you can see out over here, once again, this army is here. So that's why that's happening. We really want to bring this army up over to here for sure, but they keep not really moving very quickly. We'll see. We'll see. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.